What conversation did you have with him? Because this is UEFA meets UEFA.
Yeah, he was like, look, Janza, you are just coming from Holland. You have done your UEFA. You have to practice. You have to ensure that you put your knowledge on the ground. We need that knowledge. The purpose of us taking you to Holland is to come and bring that knowledge and apply it to Zambia. So your starting point, for me, I feel that go on the pitch, apply that knowledge on the pitch. Let's see how it helps us. We thank God it helped us. It helped us a lot.
Were you scared personally? Kalusha was saying, who has never failed, let him go. Were you personally never say, whoa?
Before he mentioned that, when the German consultant brought that aspect, it brought also like some fear in you. I think he's right. But when Kalusha sounded in another tone, said, take the armor. Don't fear. Don't think about fail. This one, everybody at one time in life has failed. Even you see kings today, whoever will tell you today, Zite, about no, you failed here. Ask him, follow his track record. He's either in class or somewhere, or he has failed at one point. He may be today a big guy or whatever, but maybe a soccer fan there in whatever. But if you follow his house, you find that maybe he's even failing to feed it. So the failure is in everybody.
All right.
So when he spoke that, I became courageous, and that courage took me. You can't believe if you go follow that tournament. Pastor Makembo was the only supporter there. He will tell you that tournament we lost no game,
and you won,
and we got it, and it was the first gift to Kalusha as a president, a cup, first cup when Kalusha became a president, and the first cup for my big man, Mr. Mulonga, as a PS. He was the one who even received that as airport. We found a lot of people at the airport, including the PS, and he thanked you, said, this is an honor to me, Janza, to bring the cup in my first as a PS under Minister of Sport. It was a great time. It was great. Imagine if I tell you some of the players that were there. There was Jemba was one of the midfielders. This boy Salulang was my youngest player. This boy at Red Zesco, John Chingandu was the captain. There was Titima was the goalkeeper. There's this other goalkeeper. Is he Power or Nkana? He was with Zanako. He went to Power. The other goalkeeper, and Kenny Mumba was the second choice. And then Alan Chiwe was the third choice goalkeeper, and then we had the strikers. We had the Stanley Shimbi. We had the Power Dynamos. Ngonga, yes. Is it Ngonga?
Yes, Alex.
Alex Ngonga, and also this boy with Zanako. He was with Forest, came to Zanako. Felix. Nyainde. You would see that generation is the one that last year, this season, and the others. This is the generation that carried on. It was a powerful team of boys that went through the tournament without losing any game. Until we beat South Africa.
So you failed to fail. Congratulations. Amen. You failed to fail. Amen. And then you are appointed Technical Director of Football Association of Zambia, 2010 proper.
Yeah, I think after coming from victory of lifting the cup, Kasafa 2009, I handed over the under 20 to the late Kigan Mumba. He took up in 2010. Then I took up as fully now Technical Director in 2010. That's how what happened. That's how I became 2010 Technical Director fully. Now implementing the
What did you need to implement? Because I'm looking at Zambia. Well, 2004 we didn't go to the AFCON. We go back to the AFCON under Kalusha in 2006. 2008 we go there. We kicked out in the first round. And I'm sure we're not happy then. Going into 2010, you are TD. What was your to-do list? Or what were you told you needed to do?
At first, it was to ensure that we had the system in place, because it was a new concept to having a technical directorate. In 2010, it didn't have so much to do with the senior team, but it had a lot to do with the restructuring, putting up the new setup of what a directorate will mean, creating desks like the women desk, football, the grassroots, the youth desk, issues to do with development of football, acquisition of sponsorship. I think that's the route where you saw mushrooming of Airtel. You know, this is where you see people like dark players like Patson Daka, Mwepus coming from Airtel. So those were structures. Those are results of what the technical directorate came to brought out. So the 2010 was more to do with the structuring and the backup also to the senior team, ensuring that all was in place, equipment was in place, venues where they should do all their preparations, programs are set. It's a support system.
Okay, fantastic. A year later, a couple of months later, you become assistant coach to Mr. Dario Bonetti. Now, that was after the 2010 Africa Cup, where Hervé Renard takes us out of the group for the first time since Bloemfontein in 1996.
To Continental.
Let's just talk about,
yes,
let's talk about AFCON 2010. What was your feeling? What was your contribution and work during that tournament?
We were doing a lot of information exchange with the Hervé Renard. It was so open to my directorate. He would come, we talk. So there was a lot of information that he used to give him. I think that time George Randamina was assistant. Yeah, so we could interact, we would talk. I could give them my knowledge from coming from Holland, coming from. So I would tell them this. I would talk to George. I would talk to Hervé. We'll compare notes. So we supported them. We gave them the motivation. They say, okay, motivation talks. We talk. And yeah, last we were happy to see at least the team going beyond the group stage until I think we were out eliminated in the quarterfinals.
Then after that tournament, Hervé Renard leaves and goes to join the Palancas Negras in Angola.
Absolutely.
George Randamina is temporary in charge. But a couple of months later, you are assistant to the new gaffer, Mr. Dario Bonetti.
Yes, it just came like boom on my desk, because I was still technical director, focusing technical director issue. I think this came because of the misunderstanding between Dario Bonetti and the Lucky Msiska. I remember that time Lucky was the assistant. I think they differed in China or somewhere. So when they came, Bonetti demanded that he didn't want Msiska and few other technical staff. And then we were just already in the qualifiers. I think we had already lost a game in Libya. We lost in Libya, but we were in the qualifiers. So there was no time again to start looking for who should be there. We had even a meeting at the Minister of Sport. I think that time the Minister was chairing that meeting. It was quite tense, and he had put his demands, Dario. It was so hot. So finally, I think the executive had just he decided that because he said, I want someone with qualification. I don't want anyone below UFAB or something. He had put his own parameter. So then the executive say, okay, the only one is our TDA. Let him balance.
Help you.
Let him help. Let him sit in on behalf of the Zambians. Because the setup is that when there's there's a foreign coach, it's imprudent that a Zambian coach should be there to understudy and to see. No, things just happen, like what happened to our situation. But that's how I was said, okay, Janza, you have to go there now. You have to manage both ends. So I had to go there. It was not easy to go and join the team that is coming from a loss in Libya, and then you are trying to qualify, then you have to fit in. So, but with the knowledge and the experience of the happenings, I had to, and the under 20 experience, having won, I had too much confidence that, okay, I'll add value. So, and working with the whites or foreigners, you have to be up to date with knowledge, because what they speak, you have to speak almost at the same level. So that's what happened. I joined, and thank God we qualified 2011 to go into 2012.
I hear it was a difficult qualifier.
Yeah, it was.
I'm actually told, a little bit whispered in my journalistic work, the team was almost stranded, almost not going for that last game against Mozambique. What was the mood inside camp?
Okay,
and for you people who were with the team and charged with the responsibility of managing the team?
It wasn't easy, and I think in my position as technical director and also as assistant, the combination of being technical director brought in a bit of some reinforcement to ensure that, because I acted like on behalf of the federation. It's like I'm inside as a federation, and also on behalf of the Zambian people, to ensure that whatever things are happening at home, let's concentrate, because the Zambian people wants Zambia to qualify. So those were most of my approach to the team, to the players. We could talk to the players to encourage them to put to close their ears and then concentrate. It was not easy, but there were efforts made within the executive, so much that to make us and to make the players not to feel that punch that was coming back home, the fighting that was going on, the politics of football and whatever. So we had to protect the players. They could hear it, but we could put it under the umbrella that it is protected.
And this was the politics between the then President Kalusha Bwalia and then the Andrew Kamanga faction, that you admit that it seeped to the team?
Yes, of course, because the players are sensitive. And these are players that have families back home here, so they communicate with the families back home, so they would ask them questions. So you guys, are you going to make it? Because here there's this, there are Rangos, ABCD. So you hear them asking you questions. Some they are professionals, they are just arrived today, but tomorrow you meet you, you ask you a question that is in typically home-baked information. So see, they could sniff, they could hear, because they've got friends, they've got families. So it was not easy that time for us even to qualify. It's one that maybe God had given it that it has to go, because we had the cup in 2012. Because if we did not qualify in 2011 to go into 2012, the Africa Cup we are talking about today.
Did you actually feel at some point with your interactions with the then embattled first President Kalusha, what conversations did you have? You say, these people want you out.
Yeah. Okay.
What was he saying to the players? I'm sure he could have visited the team.
Most of the time when he comes to visit the team, despite the fact that he has those challenges, he would speak positive to the team. We say, guys, let's focus, let's go fight for our mother Zambia. The country is looking upon us. He was always coming out so positive. We would not show it to the players that there's these people, there's this at home. He would always, even when he's talking to me, he would tell me things that are positive. Janza, ensure things are well, everything. If there's anything, let me know. Let me know so that we can move in quickly and ensure that everything is well. He's a person who never spoke negative of saying, okay, this, that. He will come in another jacket.
Let's talk about the reign of Dario Bonetti. In terms of his playing style, we managed to qualify with a game to spare, and I remember that return game against Libya. A lot of Zambians didn't like the way the team played.
Yeah.
They were hugging, but people were like, maybe this is not right.
Exactly.
And not very long from then, Dario Bonetti was shown the door.
Yes.
What kind of character was Dario Bonetti, and did he understand the type of football that quote-unquote Zambians loved or preferred to watch?
Okay, from my...
Or did you tell him?
Yeah, of course we would share, we would discuss with him. But of course, every coach when he comes, he has got his philosophy, his belief, and you could see, okay, you could balance. I'm sure that's where there were a bit of wrangles with the Siska, but he's a person who believed in his own philosophy. I think one of the coaches that is got the mechanical type of approach is Bonetti. Bonetti would lock the game. That's why Zambians want a spiced game. They want a flash game. They want players flying, because sometimes you would say, don't run too much. You know, you tell, so the players like Felix Katung say, the coach is stopping me from, no, you know, he will tell you to stay on, and then first, for him, the priority was first, if he can make sure.
Did you personally disagree with some of
okay,
the elements of his philosophy?
Okay, not really to disagree, but it's to, because sometimes it's the knowledge. Believe me, Zita, if you have the knowledge, you understand. Because all what he was doing, it's there in the football. He never did anything that was outside football. The only thing that he was doing was maybe what the Zambian people would want this game to go, like maybe all-out attack. Him will go all-out to defend. But in coaching, is there something like that? It is there. You see, so he was. So you would first learn from him, understand. He will tell you, okay, this game, blah blah. If you see, the last game we played against Libya, we needed only a win or a draw. We needed only a win or a draw. But when he saw it, we lost in Libya. So he knew the heaviness of that game and the sensitivity of that game, and he knew that Libya was capable to upset us. So his first priority was not to play fancy, but it was to ensure that he qualifies. So he applied the mechanical type of system. He defended.
Can I ask you something? He, and you probably played the role of the translator sometimes. He had a misunderstanding with the Katongo brothers. I think that was the time Felix was getting married, and then there was a delay of him coming into camp. Yeah. Would you personally say that you probably could have done better to translate the message that, look, the player is getting married? Because I hear the whole thing was lost in translation. He was told that the player has gone for a party and that's why he won't come early for camp.
Absolutely. Unfortunately and fortunate is that when this was happening, I was not yet assistant. It happened in Libya and somewhere there. Then I'm appointed. Then I found it there.
The Katongo brothers and Dario had a problem.
I found that problem now. It had happened before I went there. Then when I went there, I found it. And the good part was I found it when we were going to play a friendly in Mozambique. No, in Swaziland. If you remember, in Swaziland. We went to Swaziland for a friendly. So in Swaziland, when I was going to join the team had gone ahead of me. When I was going to join the team, in Johannesburg, I met Chris, the captain. We were connecting together in Johannesburg, connect there. So I had took that opportunity. Chris spoke to me. He's open guy. He just said, TD, me, I will speak. I will meet Bonnet. I want to speak out this. I said, yeah. But okay, we discussed and I advised. And I was happy that my advice, he took it, because he was a captain. It's not easy to advise a captain at that level. And Chris was at that time, he was there even now, the way he is. But I begged from him in a good way, and he listened to me. And he went to do in Swaziland exactly what we had agreed and advised. And that's when you saw that harmony.
People say that towards the end, and when by the time Dario was leaving, a lot of Zambian players were happy to see him gone, because he had lost the dressing room. Incidents we hear at Kosafa where he had some choice words for the players and things like that.
Yes.
Was he a very difficult person to convince and say, listen, the culture here is like this?
Yeah, you can say yes and no, because you see, every coach has got a style of leadership. The others are dictatorial, others are they give and take, you know, something like that. But he believed so much in what he knew. You know,
his personal belief.
Yes, sometimes he would tell you, okay, no training, just sleep, or today, okay, there's this. Yes, good. He had just his. People would tell me it like maybe there's too much luxury, there's too much this, and then like I was saying, he would not ask you to fly in the game. He would say stay back, you know that. So for players, they want to fly. They want to, so to them maybe these things could affect them. Say, what type of a coach? And they have never, you know, Zambian players, they've got their own culture of football. Zambian players, they are flyers, they are runners, and he was trying to change them. He was trying to change according to what he wants. But what he wanted, because he's the head coach, what he wanted himself is to get to qualify. So he can do it in that way, but it will affect, sometimes the players will not like it. But to him, as long as it's giving him what he wants to achieve, I think that's what he was so conscious that if I don't qualify, you know, when you are a coach, there's a lot at stake. If you don't qualify, your CV becomes as dirty.
Let me push you against the wall.
Okay.
Were you personally disappointed after the Libya game? I remember him and the other Italians that were on the technical bench hugging and dancing at the end, and the whole Nchanga Stadium was visibly upset. Where were you? Were you happy? Were you upset? Were you neutral?
Okay, I was neutral in the sense that the qualification made me happy because we needed that qualification first. The style of play, he was the head coach. In my opinion, we were at home. We needed to win. I would have maybe opted for another way of approach, but his approach gave us what we wanted ultimately.
It worked.
It worked. So I had to embrace it. Okay, thank you. Why should I go for 10 goals, again qualify, and then maybe go for one goal
and
qualify? Yeah. So what consoled me was that within the mutual argument, yes, this, no, this, it gave us what we wanted.
Let's talk about the return of the Frenchman, the Fox, Hervé Renard, somebody that you didn't really work with on the bench. In 2010, when he was there, he was with George Waname. Comes back and you work together this time around. What was the arrangement? Did he specifically ask for you, or he said, okay, it's fine, I can work with Honour?
Okay, it was a bit a tricky situation, not so tricky.
And months before AFCON 2012, by the way.
Exactly. So it was because of the situation. So the situation was that Bonnet is gone, and then I was assistant, and then the team, he was not. Then Hervé is appointed. Then the executive said, okay, look, Hervé is coming after 2010. Now this 2010, it will mean he hasn't been here. So if we remove Janza, or he comes with his own, then who is going to do the handover notes? So because I was with Bonnet, so I remained to do the handover notes to have Rena. So it was automatic that I stayed. And then because of the rapport I had with him, he seemed not to have a challenge with me being with him. So the work culture or the work relationship was okay.
And by the way of philosophy, you agreed more?
Yeah.
Hervé Renard was a flyer of a coach. He believed in
yeah,
throwing the kitchen sink at the opponent.
Yes. Him is, I believed in his philosophy. I think we matched well with his philosophy. Even me, when he left, I think at my time I continued with his philosophy, because my first thing was to stay at the bench there, was to understand the foreign guys and continue with the good things. So his philosophy, I think for me, I supported them, and that's the reason that that's why we branded up to today.
Okay, one of the most notable changes from the Dario era and the Renard era was position of defensive midfielder. Justin Zulu was the preferred most of the times during Dario's time. And when Hervé came, he had previously used Thomas Nyirenda, but we saw the re-emergence of William Njovu playing that position, and later Nathan Sinkala, after he got injured.
Yeah, I think the absolute one was Nathan. He came so positive. The style of play that we needed, I think Nathan coped up with it. Because I remember when I was recommending Nathan to have it right now, when he came, he said, I've watched Nathan before, and he's not. I said, no, he's changed. I've watched him now. So when he saw him, I think he fitted in his philosophy. And
what did you need Nathan to do? Because Thomas Nyirenda injured, William Njovu breaks a leg just before AFCON, and Nathan Sinkala at the time, rookie, and you're telling him come into the Chipolopolo proper for AFCON 2012. I'm just thinking, what did you want little known Nathan Sinkala to do at the time? from a technical perspective?
At that time was the link, the anchorman, was the bridge between the attacking line and the defense line. So he marveled very well. He was able to switch play. He was able to win aerial balls. He was a good ball boy on his feet, and he had an insight of changing play, switch play, which is the very key for an anchor midfielder, especially when you are in the build-up. He was positive in both the team function, attack and defense, because in attack he had a strong insight and a very good ball distribution, accurate ball distribution. If you go watch those games, when Nathan puts a ball wherever he was targeting it, to land to the targeted player, and that was one other strong point of him when it came to team function attack in the build-up. In the defense, he was always in a 1v1. He will win in tussles, up in air and also on the ground. Very strong, very stubborn on the ground and in the air. So he just had all the attributes, and that's why you saw in the 2012 he was a darling of the midfield.
Okay, now we win the tournament at 2012.
So nice. So nice.
Where was that tournament won? We saw that TV commercial where Heavy Renai is saying the battle is won far away from witnesses.
Exactly.
Where was the battle for 2012 won?
It was won from the unity, the team spirit, the belief. The boys started jeering themselves to believe in the game, to believe in themselves, to unity. They used to come together, sing songs, and I think it was more with the unity, team spirit. Team spirit played a bigger role, and the team spirit was brought in because all the time Harvard introduced a system where you interact with the players interact to each other, you bring in some culture dancing, some Zambian songs, you just make it like funny and so forth. So that brought in a lot of gelling, having a freedom to each other, interacting to each other. That was translated on the pitch. So there was nothing like, I can't give pass Zite because I don't associate with. So that brought up the fact that everybody was associated to each other.
And that was a serious necessity, exactly. I want to see.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about 2013 AFCON. We go there, knocked out in the first round, 3 draws, no win. Again, fundamental change is that Collins Mbesuma didn't play much at 2012, but in 2013 is the big number 9 again. Was that a difficult choice to make?
Not really, but it was just the fact that I think some of the players who didn't do much in the 2012, we felt that they had fresh legs to try to make the team sustain, live on to. We were one of the first countries after winning, then tomorrow again you are subjected to defend your cup. So it was difficult to prepare so we can't cry over that, but we had to do with what was available. So we found that the players like the Collins Mbesuma, those that did not have enough match games, we felt they were still fresh, that they can sustain the team.
Tell me something. After 2013 Africa Cup, a lot of people now started labeling the 2012 guys tired legs. Did we need them a little longer after 2013? And I ask this question because 2015, you are then appointed head coach of the Chipolopolo. 2014 rather. You managed to get qualification and you made some changes.
Yeah.
Did we need some of those players a little bit more? Because you used some of them.
Yes, yes and no. But we had a challenge. Like I'm saying, we had a challenge because 2012 we were at AFCON. New changes with CAF. 2013 we are needed again at AFCON to go and defend. So it was difficult now to make to refresh the team. Of course, this team, if you look at it, it's built from 2006. So these are players that have come from 2006, and we thank them that they made what they brought us the cup. So they needed to be rebranded. Of course, we didn't need to remove everybody, but we needed some fresh legs so that to marry them together with the odd legs and the fresh legs to move. But it needed systematic approach. But it was the challenge. The difficult was that look, we are already going into Africa Cup 2013. So if we change now, we may lose it all. So it was a very difficult decision. But we saw that the team needed to be refreshed. But you need to do it in a systematic way.
Let me ask you something. Your reign as coach of the Chipolopolo was marked by one big headline that we woke up one day and say, Chris Katongo has been kicked out of camp, stripped of the captaincy. What was that all about? And is your heart in the same place as it was then?
He's my good boy, and it was not easy. It was painful for me to arrive at such a decision, knowing that I was one of the advocates for supporting him. Even when in 2012, I used to speak to him. Can you make a new chapter in Zambian football where the captain lifts the cup? So what you should be doing is hard work, and he responded to that. And if you saw Chris in 2012, his training always in front, fighting. He was very strong. And when it came to my reign, unfortunately, sometimes maybe things happen that way, but he didn't also anticipate that. I didn't anticipate it also. But you see, the team it is supervised, and a lot of people see the team behavior and everything and what people do and so forth. So when some information came against him, and then it was like the findings, it's like it's falling on the other players, it's affecting the players, and then the nation wants us to win. So it didn't take either Chris or myself or any other person. It would have, if it was me as well in that situation, it would have been as good to leave, because for the good of the nation. So for me, it wasn't so much about Chris, it was just about what the happening.
Did the good Christian in you fail to forgive? And did Chris apologize?
We talk,
immediately.
We talk.
You spoke.
We speak every day. Even it was in my room when I called you. We chatted. Okay, this. But I thank him, because also he did not like go media or say this. I did not also like go media to say, okay, this is what. No, we just mutually said, okay, for now, support the team. There's this. Even if I do this, you find that this guy will not. It's a situation that the system. If you become there, the system won't move, because this one will say this one will say So say, okay, for now, support the country. Just you and me, let's support the country. We have been hit by this, but this thing, if we stay on this boat will sink. You understand?
I'm curious. You're the same person who was talking to Chris on a flight to Swaziland because he had problems with Dario Bonetti. You probably knew the man better, and he wasn't really done, really. And he said many times that I will never give up on my country. I'll fight.
Yeah. So
was it impossible to cleanse him?
You see, the problem was the space of time. I think that time it was a situation where we were playing back to back. So there was no time to say, okay, if it was like the other next game will happen after 1 month, 2 months, there was room like, okay, now it was a back-to-back. Today you play, tomorrow, so this and this. So when that thing came, it was so heavy, so much that even when I made some consultation, the decision was not like one person, Janza, making a decision. But you have to be seen as a head coach, he has made a decision, but it's a consultative in the system, you understand? So it's not like a one-man show that Janza made this decision. I made consultative. Okay, there's this information that has been brought to my table. What is the feeling? What are the other people saying? Okay, the feedback I got is what I had to implement. So it was painful for me to implement it. I mentioned to you that, even to him, I said it's painful to implement it, but it's just that I'm the head coach. and I'm the only person who is supposed to do this.
And with the passage of time, you're going to bring him back?
Of course, yes.
You're going to bring him back?
Yes, of course. We even used to chat. Even on the way to Africa Cup, we used to chat. I had those feeling to, but...
so your captain was Renford?
Yeah, the captainship went to Renford because he's one of the senior players that was on the ground and mature on the pitch. So I felt if Renford is there again, we will carry on because he knows what Chris used to do, and it was easy for us. Like I said, that my tenure was a bit tricky, sensitive, because it was the first back-to-back to be played. You played today, tomorrow you're on the plane and so forth.
What really happened with Sto is because he was ideally the one who was supposed to be...
Stopilla.
The one who was given the armband immediately after...
Yes,
Chris left.
Yes, it is. Stopilla he has got his own character that one would define like he is a player that you have to be careful to even to shout on him. He's not a player that you can just like, hey, Stopilla. You can build and destroy. So there are players, you have to understand them, you have to know. Me, when he said, coach, this, I understood. That's okay, because that's the way he is. His Stopilla is always quiet in the camp. He's not a person you push someone who say this, you rough to play. He's himself.
And you needed a captain who would talk,
usually a captain, he may not be strong in talking, but you needed a captain that he would do control all his friends. His friends can respond to him. Like Kalaba, everybody has respect for Kalaba. Everybody, the whole team has respect for Kalaba. So I felt that at this time, we are, the way I went to as a head coach, it was like overnight. This Patrice leaves the team, and we are playing qualifiers a month later. So it was not easy to hold on to that, and then there are these situations. So it was quite a sensitive period. We thank God that we qualified. We played 6 games, winning 3 games, only losing 1, and we qualified with a game to spare. That was marvelous. And you remember that that time also we lost our state president Sata during that time. When going to Mozambique, we left him Timurungushi lying in state. We had to say bye that time, and everybody was like, who is Janza? You have to wipe our tears by qualifying. It was heavy on my shoulders. But I trusted, okay, we needed a captain that can run the race, and we win.
First game against Guinea-Bissau, 0-0.
It was tough, yes, but...
and thereafter we saw changes being run. Then yes. we brought the young players.
Yes, I realized because in our plan, if Harvey didn't go, he was going to do exactly what I did, because the indicators of the national team of Zambia showed in 2013 that the players are going blink. But sometimes a foreign coach will not risk his CV to start rebuilding. That's one thing that people must understand.
So Harvey didn't want to risk to be the one to start that process?
It's not easy to take a risk as a foreign coach to rebuild a nation because it's a long process and it can destroy your CV. So most foreign coaches, they don't want that. If you look at the Zambia team that won, the person who rebuilt that, who took a risk, was Kalusha. He took a risk, removed the Tanners, the returner, the whatever, all those guys, and then brought the Calabas, Young, the Felix. It takes an indigenous to rebuild. Me, when I started rebuilding, I said to the nation that I will take my name on the chopping board, win or lose, as long as the process is made. But people didn't hear, didn't listen. Today we are still struggling to rebuild. We would have done the rebuilding a long time ago. So it's now we are bringing foreigners. I'm not saying, but the foreigner, it will be, you need to put it in paper that he's going to do rebuilding. But he will be conscious. If he does the rebuilding, he must be conscious that he must qualify, because the demand is that you should qualify. His CV must state that he qualified. Look at 7.
You were You were relieved of your duties, I hear, at the airport. And I'm sure maybe that's why you got the news. Were you disappointed with somebody you've worked with over many years, Kalusha, in the decision that he made or his committee made regards you being removed as coach?
I wasn't just only disappointed, I was threatened. Because my life was threatened. I was like, oh.
Who threatened you?
Is this, maybe I'm a foreigner, because the only person should be approaching that way at the airport is deportation. So it was a threat approach to me. I even told the people that brought the letter, Mr. Piri and Mr. Chirua, that in your capacity, I don't think you should have even started off from where you were. Whoever gave you instructions to bring this document, for me, I think you are the same like that person, because the same letter is telling me to be technical director, to go back to the office. Why didn't you wait for me at the office? You are the same people you spoke to me to go as head coach for the national team. You would have spoken to me in the same way, say come back. So you bring the letter, you're just sending me that I have to be deported. Why didn't you just deport me?
Were you disappointed with the president of the FA?
I was disappointed with management. The president can be influenced by the management. Management should have taken a step in a normal way. You don't, who in this life has ever been given an administrative letter at the airport? So it's management, not the president. The FA executive, they don't run the
What was your first conversation with Kalusha after you were served the letter?
I forgave. My spirit told me to absolve, to just, because you can collapse, you can die. That approach, because why should you be given like it's a gunpoint, and when you are innocent? And I was just coming from winning the friendly against Ethiopia, tough game, and the person who qualified this country to Africa Cup to date. But why should I be approached like that? So I knew that the only person who came to my consolation was my family and God. So I said, okay, let me absorb this, let me take it as a Christian and as a man, and let me forgive and move on. So I forgave. To date, Kalusha has never heard me speak about that issue. Not even the former general secretary, not even any one of the executive members. I've never spoken about it.
Where you don't speak?
We speak football. We are still...
You're okay.
But
your relationship, will it be ever the same after that incident?
You see, in life, it's the same Kalusha who, in the Christian world, they say the destiny helper. It's the same Kalusha who crowned me as head coach of Chiporoporo. Kalusha. It's the same. His administration took me to Holland. His administration. So me, I look at the bigger part of my life you have done to me. A small part, it will mitigate you.
So did you go back to work as technical director, happy, sound, and it's gone, it's the past?
I looked at Zambia. I looked at Zambia as a bigger picture. I didn't look at an individual. I know individuals can make mistakes. Individuals, I can wrong you today. And if you look at it, my wrong to you, I can die tomorrow. And if you take my wrong, you just affect the Zambia. I looked at the nation. The nation needed a technical director, needed football to go. But one person who injures me is not Zambia. So from my preamble, I've always put Zambia first. So I looked at Zambia first. I humbled myself. I absorbed all the intimidation, whatever happened to me. I had to put them on myself for the good of the nation. So I went to the office and started operating to make sure that the nation was benefiting.
Okay, now you quit the Football Association of Zambia. There was a change of power, and Rukamanga elected as president, and you still continued as technical director.
Yes, because for me, I will tell you one thing. I'm not a football politician. Mine is I'm a professional. I use myself is professional. I'm a football technical guy, technical person who saves the nation. I don't save a human being. But if you are the person in office, I'll save you to the latter, 100%. I saved Kalusha 100%. At one point, my company Zesco withdrew me, I spoke to them that, look, I supported Kalusha during the wrangles because he's the person I found was elected. So I supported the government of the day. So every government of the day for me, as a civil servant in football, as a technical person, I'll support. Today I speak Kamanga, we speak football, we speak everything. He came from his tour, we spoke on phone. Oh, Janza, where I went, there's football here. He told me a lot about it. We speak every day. Kalusha, if you find me speaking to him, we speak, we laugh, we do everything. Why? Because I'm a profession. I'm a profession, so I don't go sides. I'm not a politician. I am a technician. I'm a profession, and I will stand the same.
Why did you leave?
I left because I had no contract. I spoke to Kamanga, I spoke to Ponga at that time. He was still pulling his legs. Then I saw that I stayed when he...
You were not wanted?
I didn't want to conclude in that way, because if I was not wanted, immediately Kamanga executive came into office, I was going to be booted out. But they kept me, I was there. So it was a carryover. In another executive, I didn't have a contract, meaningful contract. So it was a carryover. They said, okay, we'll give you, we'll give you, we'll give you. So for me, I just concluded that the management at football wasn't conducive for me to stay. Not because this one, because it was the same executives. Both executives, I didn't have a contract. This one, the office of the general secretary kept on saying, okay, tomorrow, okay, this time, this time. So I said, okay, I think I've done a lot of charity. When you need me, I'll come. But for now, allow me. Mucho. I sat with the president, Kamanga, 2 or 3 meetings, and then agreed mutually. And even where I was going, the chairman for Red Arrows spoke to Kamanga, please, okay, give us. I left there in a mutual way, and that's why I didn't go out like a politician, say, no, Janza is resigned or whatever. No, I wanted the game of football to remain conducive, to remain okay, and everything to be fine. So when I left on a mutual understanding that the contract was not coming forth. And this is the reason why when they advertised, I thought, oh, okay, now maybe they are putting in a good system where I'm going to have now a contract. So if that's the case, okay, maybe just be like any common person who will apply. I applied like any other common person to see if they want, they can take me. If they don't want, okay, but I will still continue to serve as a Zambian person.
Let's talk about your time at Red Arrows. Now, the biggest headline, I'm sure, even in the corridors of power at the Air Force was, here comes the man who's the most qualified man in Zambia. He's going to be our coach.
Yeah. Yes, it happened like that. And for me, to date, if you see what is happening at Red Arrows, it's not bonded and born one day. When I went to Red Arrows, it was a blessing to what you are seeing today. Yes, there can be 1 or 2 arguments, but in my belief, is what you see today and what you are yet to see. You see Liverpool. Look at where Liverpool has come from. Football is like that. Look at Ajax. Look at where they have come from. You see Red Arrows. If Red Arrows do not break what we left there, Red Arrows can win continental opportunity, can run for the next 3, 4, 5 years as a big club. If you have seen this season, they are not a pushover. But that is not a plant that you just planted today. No, our preparation, my first year at Red Arrows was to study the whole boys, the whole team. I found information that this player is tired, Bruce cannot play, this one in Malambo cannot play, whatever. I said, okay, I left everybody, let me see them, first year. Second year, I started readjusting. I made a new stride, new dimensions, bringing professionals which was not there at the system. Now starting removing those, I could now know that in the first year that, okay, this one, yes, this one. And then I started even introducing what was not there. Those that we did not want, we had to open the contracts. Not just going, they started having contracts in other teams. And then we brought also the others that could say, okay, they can fit with us.
For the first time, foreign boys players play for Red Arrows.
Yes, so that's another step. So my going there has a legacy. Yes, people are looking at, no, maybe the Janza has come now, it's just immediate, you have to win the league, we have to do this. It's a process.
Were you a little bit disappointed with the rate at which the Red Arrows players, very experienced too, were responding to your methodologies?
Okay, yes and no, in the fact that the responding was very good. The first year, the second year they started. If you see Bruce is not the same today. If you see Shadrach Malam, I found that there was, Red Arrows, it was a team that I found that there was the issues of too much beer, too much this is social life and that. But I said, okay, these are things we need to start mending. Today you don't find that song again. So there's the things that outside technical, outside on the pitch, and things live football outside. And those are things when I went there, I was addressing both inside and outside. But there was some challenges, of course. Again, the second year was not going to be easy for me, because why? I was having a team of foreign players and local players, which has never happened. So there was an issue of accepting or not accepting. Until we had to preach it, it passed. So we lost that second year. I lost it. But for the sake of the team. Today, after they realized the branding, today if you watch Red Arrows, inclusive with the professionals, if you see in the goal who is there, the Kenyan goalkeeper, fantastic. Look at the whole team. Today, after they accepted, I used to preach to them, say, these foreign players, brand them. Tomorrow you go to, you guys, you're a player today. If you don't want this foreign player, and your dream as a player here, you want to go and play in Manchester United, this is a dream for everybody. Are you going to be a local player or you be a foreign player? They also look at you as a foreign player. So if you don't accept a foreign player here, how do you want to go and play in Manchester as a foreign player? So that's when now we started. There's a lot that we were doing despite the football itself. But in summary or in conclusion is that what I see of Red Arrows today in the third year now, after my first year, second year, third year, what is happening now is what I am happy with it, and I see it's the same.
Would you say Chisimbe were then lucky? Opportunist?
No, he is not like opportunist. He's the hard-working boy. Even when I went there, he was my right-hand man, together with Joe. And the inputs, that boy, he's not like, he's ambitious. And he has it in his hands. And he used to follow whatever I tell him, and he was studying me. He was telling me that, coach, when you leave, the person who will come here, he will just walk through it. And I'm happy he's there and he's walking through it. Sometimes he calls me what we did in Spain could not just happen in Yambokfuma. It's what you see them now. Because
you were ridiculed because you went to Spain and said people were passing derogatory jokes and say most qualified, went to Spain. This thing is failing. And I'm sure that was the feeling with the powers that be at Red Arrows.
You see, I will not, yes and no, but you see, sometimes we need to be mature. It is like you are feeling a headache, and then I just give you Panadol, just 2 minutes, ask you, how are you feeling? You have to allow the medicine to the process. You understand? So that's why I'm telling you that
they didn't allow the medicine to work.
They should have.
Honour Janza, thank you very much.
God bless you.
They didn't allow the medicine to work.
Absolutely. But
all the best.
But I'm happy that now the medicine has reached the level where now it's healing.
Thank you.